Greetings, dear viewer. Imagine this scenario. Enemy team first pick Shen, and you are thinking, okay, I'm gonna need a Shen counter here. You start to sweat a little bit. You realize you don't know what counter Shen. I mean, Mordekaiser is surely good into Shen, like it's a tank buster juggernaut. A valid theory perhaps, but useless in practice. In this video, I need to talk about the state of Shen, and I'm addressing this to Riot Games. Now you might be thinking, xPetu, you always talk about Shen, you always say he's either nerfed or buffed or bad or good or whatever. You boycott, you do this. I know, I get the irony. But we need to be serious here for a moment. This champion in its current state should not exist in League of Legends, because I'm telling you, Shen right now has no weaknesses. And that's what we're gonna show in this gameplay. The Mordekaiser has been chunked out. We're gonna freeze the wave here, okay? We're gonna create a very aggressive position where we can punish the opponent. The blade placement is set. We can go in for an E. Dodge the E, and then this guy's low HP, okay? I can Q flash to kill him. We can finish off. Boom. First blood is acquired. Mordekaiser has flashed. We have Cinerias in the jungle on Viego. This guy's a very good player. We're gonna have a beautiful game. Mordekaiser is gonna be TPing back to lane. We don't need to reset. We have a lot of HP. We can even go for a second solo kill. I don't wanna bring up too many statistics because I wanna let the gameplay do the talking, But I gotta say something, okay? If you look at Shen's win rates across all elos, across all regions, it is completely monstrous. 53%, 54%, 55% even. And in my specific region in ELO, so Europe West Grandmaster Plus, Shen has the 5th highest ban rate out of any champion in any role, nearing over 25%. Now for a Shen one trick such as myself, this is a pretty difficult situation because obviously, I can beat up Mordekaiser like this, I can just keep hitting him and my champion is not very fair. But the ban rate produces another challenge, which is that I cannot get Shen in every game since he's becoming a meta pick. Now, we have acquired 2 kills. We have 1100 gold. We can hit the minion wave a little bit and look for a recall plus TP. The item that we want to purchase right now, it is Spectro's Cowl, okay? The 1250 gold component, which transcends Shen into a magic damage counter. We're gonna purchase it right now. What is really underrated about this particular item is the plus 100% base HP regen. Okay, so the base HP regen on Shen is relatively high. The moment you get Spectral Scowl, what happens is that you essentially turn into a sustain machine. And when you combine that with Doran's Shield, Second Wind, Grasp, these numbers just start to stack up. And versus a champion like Mordekaiser, who usually beats opponents in extended trades, you suddenly turn into a champion that can counter his greatest strength. We're gonna be last hitting cannon here. We have almost a 1.5 level lead over the Mordekaiser. We're gonna be pushing the wave in. It is not possible to punish Mordekaiser in the current wave state, so we'll try to crash the wave, pull it back towards us. Now some of you might be asking, xPetu, what should Riot do about Shen? What led us to this situation? I'll answer the second one first. Obviously buffing Shen 3 times, 3 patches in a row led to this situation. What should we do about it? I have some ideas. You could revert the Q buffs. But you know what? Q is the favorite part about Shen. Every Shen player wants to hit hard and wants to get those empowered Qs. Just like I did here. So then the question is, okay, but can we nerf his ultimate, for example? I'm gonna pick up the kill on Volibear here, plus 300 gold, instantly go to mid, top lane back. I know I could stay there, but let's see what Yone does. That doesn't look too good. Viego died, so Cinerias died. It's okay. For me, that was just a matter of picking up a kill and returning to lane. The most important thing there is to immediately run back to top lane so that we can intercept the wave and not let Mordekaiser crash it. This way, we can keep fighting here, okay? We're gonna use our 3 empowered Qs and then we're gonna directly E out, okay? So that we don't get hit by the Mordekaiser Q and we don't fall into the trap of playing into his trading pattern, which is the extended trade. Even if we have a lot of sustain, it does not mean that we should throw away our strengths and play towards his, okay? We're gonna let the wave crash here since it's too big to freeze. We're just gonna be slowly last hitting. So now the question is, what can we nerf about Shen? You can never revert some of the buffs that you made. I'm speaking to Riot directly here. Or you could do something like reduce the max HP damage scaling, or sorry, bonus HP damage scaling on your E. Because Shen right now, I think he functions well as this kind of duelist character, right? But what I think is kind of ridiculous is that Shen should not be able to play as an assassin, which is what he does, right? Viego is coming in for a gank. I'm gonna take one step backwards to pull the Mordekaiser in, so that we have more time to kill him. Mordekaiser uses the ultimate. Viego was full HP, so we should be good here. I'm gonna position myself so that I can get the Q drag through when Mordekaiser exits the ultimate, and then I'm gonna directly E, and then we get a kill. So my thought process is here that Riot Games has pushed Shen towards a duelist character, a split pushing character, with the Q tower damage, with the Q max HP damage, and I think that's completely fine. I think that's something that Shen is kind of supposed to do if you want him to be fun, right? We're gonna finish off the Spirit Visage here, which looks a little bit crazy, but I'm gonna tell you in a second why it's good, okay? So, in my mind, what we should be nerfing about Shen is his burst towards squishy targets. Because as you've maybe seen from my builds recently, I've been going for very assassin-heavy, burst-heavy builds. And I don't think it's fair that a 5000 HP tank can E-flash with no counterplay on top of an ADC. The E deals 700 damage, and then you get Auto Titanic, which deals with Hull Breaker like 1.5k damage or something, okay? I don't think that's fair, right? But the max HP damage there is not the problem. It is the burst coming from the bonus HP on the E. But Riot can make their own decisions. What we can do right now with the Spirit Visage is we can actually just fight Mordekaiser straight up. I'm gonna keep hitting here since I got the Empowered Q. I'm gonna pull back a little bit, and we see Volibear here. I still have my flash, so we are in no danger. There is Nautilus as well, but we are in no danger. Okay, it's easy. Rel is moving towards top side. I'm gonna E-flash here on top of the Mordekaiser, and I should be able to pick this up. Mordekaiser... I got this. I don't have boots, but I think I got this still. Okay, beautiful. We have 5 kills. And now I'm gonna talk about the Spirit Visage. You know why Spirit Visage is good? Is because in the early game, a lot of your resilience as a champion comes from healing, from second wind and grasp. And I'm gonna E here. I'm gonna go on the Volibear. I have W to protect my Viego, which means that the Viego gets a reset. Then we can keep going for Nautilus. I'm gonna hit another Q here. Echo. One more auto attack. Q auto. I have 7 kills at 9 minutes. And we can look for another fight on the Mordekaiser. I'm just gonna keep going here, by the way. I have red buff. I have my second wind amplified from the Spirit Visage. I'm gonna keep hitting here. I dodged a couple of Qs from Mordekaiser. I have my passive shield coming up. Keep hitting. Look, my E cooldown is 1 second. I'm gonna E instantly. Taunt. We are legendary at 9.5 minutes. Does this look like a balanced champion to you guys? I'm thinking the answer is no. I'm thinking the answer is a definite no. I mean, I don't know what to tell you guys. I'm challenger right now. I'm happy with that. Probably gonna DK into Grandmaster. The reason is that I like to play Shen, right? You know that. Probably after, what, 6-7 years of making Shen content, some people realized that maybe xPetu actually likes playing Shen. I really wanted to push for rank 1. I really did. The problem is that I cannot do that if I plan to one-trick Shen, right? So what I would need to do is I would need to go on another account, practice some other champion, bring it to the same level or near the level of my Shen, and then play 2 champions or 3 champions. I would prefer 2. I think 2 is a good point. I don't think you need to learn more than 2 champions to kind of excel in solo queue. But then there is another point here. The point is that I have a lot of things that I want to do right now. And League of Legends, particularly grinding for rank 1, takes up an enormous amount of time. I am talking hundreds of hours, okay? Like it takes... Because you can only be the best by putting in more effort than anyone else, right? That's the only way to do it. And that means that you really can't have much kind of like other hobbies at the same time. And the hobbies for me in particular are running a startup, reading, these sort of things. And I gotta say, I've been really fascinated with a certain book right now. The book is called The Art of Learning by Josh Waitzkin. I have it in my hand here. He's a former chess genius turned into a world-class martial artist, and he presents ideas in this book that are, I don't know, so resonating to me in some sense. And one of these ideas, I'm gonna ult on the Yone here. Yone should be fine. I'm gonna E here just to get a little bit of damage off. Nautilus doesn't get a... Yeah, all good. I'm gonna hit the tower here. I should probably move back to top lane so that Mordekaiser doesn't get any plates. That's the plan. But one of the ideas in Josh Waitzkin's book is that one should... Let me try to paraphrase it and then explain it, okay? So, one should sometimes step out of the domain in which they operate in order to get better at the domain they want to get better at, right? So for me in particular, there is great value to stepping away from League, stepping away from grinding to rank 1, stepping away from the challenger grind, right? In order to actually get better at League. This idea is kind of coming from these scenarios where, for example, professional sports athletes have some kind of injury. And during the injury, what they have is they have a forced break away from the game, in the sense that they usually, play the game, right? But what happens in those times is that the player, the athlete, gets a new understanding of the game by having to step back. So, for example, a quarterback in football realizes that, oh, actually, I've been missing out on these plays. And the only way for him to take that step back, get that perspective, is by being forced off the field. Because otherwise he would love to compete every single match he can, right? So instead he has to watch replays. He has to analyze data. He has to look at the numbers in order to leave the numbers. This is a concept that Josh Waitzkin calls form to leave form, or numbers to leave numbers. And it resonates deeply with me at this moment in time. What my current kind of day looks like is that I wake up and I've made myself the perfect spawn point, right? What I've done is that I've prepared a protein-rich breakfast already in advance. I wake up, I'm able to consume that breakfast immediately. My phone is in another room, so there's no temptation for me to look at the phone first thing I wake up. I try to use 30 minutes of time to think about what is the most important thing to solve today. Usually that's something related to either my personal life or then something related to Coachless, the company that I'm running, right? And after that, what comes is kind of this deep reflection time during my transit to our office, which is 40 to 50 minutes. And during that time, I try to read books, articles, specifically deep learning. Recently, I've been kind of getting a more, let's say, getting a better grasp on transformer models, which are the architecture, like the deep learning architecture behind current large language models such as GPT-3. I mean, actually, I think they've progressed from that because the transformer deep learning model was already introduced in 2017. I digress anyways. The point is that I'm having a lot of enjoyment right now in life besides League, and that makes the trade-off of climbing while Shen has a big ban rate not worth for me. So TLDR, I hope Riot nerfs Shen, then I can get back to grinding. In the meantime, I'm gonna be grinding other things. This doesn't mean I'm quitting League, it doesn't mean I'm quitting YouTube. These things are always staying for me. League is my greatest passion, YouTube is my second greatest passion. But right now what I need to do is I need to focus on certain things. I need to study the numbers in order to leave the numbers. 1096 LP Challenger, 14k top damage, that's a good place to end it in. I'll see you in the next video, guys. Bye bye.